Standard 6, Subject English, Unit 2.3, A Wall Magazine for Your Class. Children, let us read and understand this chapter, A Wall Magazine for Your Class. Students of 6th A bubbled with enthusiasm all the time, be it sports, hobbies, or studies. This year, they surprised the rest of the school by bringing out a wall magazine. The idea became so popular that soon there were unique wall magazines in almost every class in the school. This is what class 6th A did to plan and prepare their wall magazine. First, the students and class teacher of 6th A brought several children's magazines and pages of children's sections in periodicals and newspapers to the classroom. They studied the contents to see what all was included in the magazines. There was a tremendous variety: stories, poems, puzzles, riddles, craft ideas, informative articles, interesting tidbits of information, jokes, board games, book reviews, quizzes, study tips, health tips, and even recipes. There were also columns about students' achievements, doubts, and problems. These columns were run with the help of teachers or parents. After studying all the material, a discussion was held in the class to choose sections for their own magazine. It was decided that there would be at least 4 issues of the magazine. There would be a separate team for each issue. The team would have an editor, 1 or 2 sub-editors, illustrators, artists, and writers, those who actually copied or typed the issue in beautiful letters. Anyone in the class could send contributions to the issue. The editors would select the articles to be included, and their decision would be final. Thus, there would be 4 different teams to work on the 4 issues. The columns, regular features in all 4 issues, were planned with the help of the class teacher. Apart from the editorial teams, more groups were made to run columns like craft ideas, recipes, I need help, science corner, etc. It was the job of these groups to collect materials for their respective columns. With the teacher's help, a prominent place was fixed to display the magazine in the classroom. A long discussion was held to choose a good name for the magazine. Are you tempted to do something similar for your own class? What are you waiting for? Go ahead. On the next few pages, you will find some specimens from the wall magazine of 6th A. We are sure you can create even more interesting pages if you use your own ideas and talents. So in this paragraph that we read from this chapter, A Wall Magazine for Your Class, we learn that the students of Standard 6th A bubbled with enthusiasm. The meaning of this phrase, bubbled with enthusiasm, is to be full of interest and excitement. So these students of 6th A, they were always enthusiastic, be it sports, hobbies, or studies. And this year, they surprised the rest of the school by bringing out a wall magazine. You seen in the first slide, 2 girls standing in front of a board, and that was a wall magazine. So even students of Standard 6th A decided to bring out a wall magazine. The idea became so popular that soon there were unique wall magazines in almost every class in the school. What did the children of class 6th A do to plan and prepare their wall magazine. So this is what they did. They had to plan and prepare in order to create their wall magazine. So the students and the class teacher of 6th A brought several children's magazines and pages of children's sections in periodicals and newspapers to the classroom. So this is what they were planning. So the teacher and the students, they brought all different magazines, pages from children's sections and periodicals. What are periodicals? They are magazines published every week or month. They also brought some newspaper to the class. And the students and the teacher studied the contents to see what was included in the magazines. And there was a tremendous variety. Tremendous is very great. Lots of variety. There were stories, poems, puzzles, riddles, craft ideas, jokes, board games, reviews of books, quizzes, study tips, health tips, and even recipes. There were also some columns about students' achievements, their problems, and their doubts. And this column was run with the help of teachers or parents. The students of class 6th A and the teacher, after studying all the material, they held a discussion to choose the sections, to choose what they would include for their own magazine. And it was decided that they would bring out at least 4 issues of the magazine, and there would be separate team for each issue. The team would consist of an editor. Who is an editor? A person who is in charge of a newspaper or a magazine. There would also be sub-editors, somebody to help the editor. Illustrators. Illustrators are artists. They draw. There would be writers, that is those who would actually copy or type the issue in beautiful letters. They would type the copy of the newspaper or the magazine that they intend bringing out. That would be typed or copied by the writers in beautiful letters. Anyone in the class could give their contribution to the issue. It is a wall magazine, so students could bring in their contribution, whether they want to bring in some riddles or puzzles or jokes. They could bring in their contribution. And it was the responsibility of the editor to select which article would be included, and the editor's decision would be final. So all the students could bring in their contribution, anyone who wanted to bring in the contribution, but the selection was by the editor. There would be 4 different teams to work on the 4 issues. The columns, the regular features and all the 4 issues were planned with the help of the class teacher. So they had decided on 4 issues. So what would be included in those 4 issues, that was planned with the help of the class teacher. Apart from the editorial team, more groups were made to run columns. So like craft ideas, recipes, I need help, science corner, etc. So there was a team, besides the editorial team, a team that would run the column. Say for example, it was the column of craft ideas. So there would be people responsible or children responsible with regards to craft ideas, or a team responsible with regards to recipes. And they would collect the material for their respective columns. So if we had a team for craft ideas, they would collect only craft ideas. So it was the responsibility of that group, that respective group, to collect information only about craft ideas. With the help of the teacher, a prominent place was decided to display the magazine in the classroom. There was also a discussion to choose a good name for the magazine. So this is what the students of Standard 6, they along with their class teacher decided to surprise the rest of the school by making something public. They decided to create a wall magazine. I'm sure after you have heard what the students of 6th A decided, you too would be tempted to do something similar for your class. So in the next slides, we will see a few specimens from the wall magazine of 6th A. And after seeing these specimens from the wall magazine of Standard 6th A, I'm sure you too would be interested in creating your own wall magazine for your class. This is one of the specimen from the wall magazine of class 6th A. We know that the students of 6th A, they decided to bring out a wall magazine. They planned and they prepared their wall magazine. So this is one of the specimen from the wall magazine of 6th A. So this column was the jokes column. So here are a few jokes. We can read the jokes, which will also be quite interesting, where the teacher says, Valley, why are you late? And Valley says, the train had a flat tire. The next joke, what are the 3 words most often used by students? The teacher asked the class. I don't know, sighed a student. That's correct, said the teacher. Why did the teacher wear sunglasses? Because his students were so bright. Then the next joke, I wish you'd pay a little attention. The student says, I'm paying as little attention as possible. Here, how did you find your maths exam? Dad says, son, unfortunately, it wasn't lost. The next joke, teacher, your daughter's only 5 and she can spell her name backwards. Why? That's remarkable. Mother, yes, we are very, very proud of her. Teacher, and what is your daughter's name? Mother says, Anna. Then here, fun with words. Which bird can lift the heaviest weights? It's the crane. What can you serve but never eat? A tennis ball. What jam can't you eat? A traffic jam. What's the difference between a hungry person and a greedy person? One longs to eat and the other eats too long. So these are few jokes and riddles. This was one of the specimen from the wall magazine of 6th A. This is another specimen from the wall magazine of class 6th A. This column was the science corner. So in this science corner here, we'll read what exactly they put in this column, science corner. Why do water tin sheets become hot in the sun but not a tree? Water and tin sheets are non-living. When they receive heat, they get heated according to their properties and may even change the state in which they are. Water turns into vapor and even tin sheets melt at very high temperatures. They do not make any attempt to cool themselves. But you know that bodies of living things carry out different processes that help them to survive or to adapt to their surroundings. Plants carry out a process called transpiration. In this process, water is absorbed by the roots and is sent up through the stem up to the leaves. On the underside of leaves, there are pores or holes called stomata. Plants use up some of the water they absorb and the rest is given out through these stomata. This process helps plants to cool themselves. Humans also use a similar process to cool themselves. Can you guess what it is? Yes, sweating. Also, you know that big trees have trunks. The trunks consist of wood. Wood is not a good conductor of heat. You may relate this information with what is given in your science textbook. Responsiveness to stimuli, heat, states of matter, etc. So these were some of the questions that they decided for the next issue. Why do the sun and moon change their size? How can we see many channels on the same TV set? Why do we see one image when we have two eyes? So children, you could also use these questions and get information from the net, or you could ask the help of elders at home. So this column was the science corner column. This is another specimen from the wall magazine of class 6th A. Yet another specimen from the wall magazine of class 6th A. This column was I need help. It is written here as I am confused, please help. My best friend is ignoring me. This year I feel angry and unhappy about it, but I still think of her as my best friend. Why is she doing this to me? I am confused, please help. So here there is an advice given by some senior friends. Advice could also be given by teachers or parents. So in this column, the student's problem, the student requires some help. So the advice that is given either by senior friends or by teachers and parents. So let us read what is the advice that the senior friend gives to this student who is confused as to why her best friend is ignoring her and she feels angry and unhappy about it. The advice. Don't we all feel this sometime or other? Don't worry. Let's see what we can do. First, please think about it without getting upset. Is she really ignoring you? What are the things that you used to do together but don't do anymore? For example, sitting on the same bench, having your tiffin together, coming to school or going back home together, and so on. If you still do most of these things together, you may be wrong in thinking that she is ignoring you. You can talk to her about it. Find out if you have hurt her in some way, if there is a misunderstanding and that is why she is not as warm or close towards you as she was before. If that is so, you can simply say sorry and she will immediately be friends with you again. Has she made new friends? Is that what is making you feel a little jealous and sad? Well, you can always be friends with her new friends. Your friend may appreciate it. If your last year's best friend has really started ignoring you without any reason, do not keep brooding or thinking about it. You can make friends with others. Maybe after a few days, your old friend will also be close to you once again. So this is an advice, expert advice from senior friends given to this student who feels sad, who is angry because her best friend is ignoring her this year. Yet another specimen from the wall magazine of class 6th A. This column was on rhyme and rhythm, or we could say a column on poems and lyrics. So this is the first poem, The Little Rose Tree, Rachel Field. Every rose on the little tree is making a different face at me. Some look surprised when I pass by, and others droop, but they are shy. These two whose heads together press tell secrets I could never guess. Some have their heads thrown back to sing, and all the buds are listening. I wonder if the gardener knows, or if he calls each just a rose. Lyrics. Did you ever see a horse fly, a horse fly, a horse fly? Did you ever see a horse fly, a horse fly, fly, fly? Did you ever see a pen stand? A pen stand? A pen stand? Did you ever see a pen stand? A pen stand? Stand, stand. Yet another poem. One bright day, a hand clapping rhyme. One bright day in the middle of the night, two dead soldiers got up to fight. Back to back they faced each other, drew their swords and shot each other. A deaf policeman heard the noise and ran to save the two dead boys. If you don't believe this lie is true, ask the blind man, he saw it too. So these were some of the specimens from the Wall magazine of class 6th A. Students, you too could use your own ideas and your own creativity to create interesting pages for your wall magazine, to create a wall magazine for your class. Or even you can have a wall magazine if you want to create one in your homes or in your notebook.